Hey guys, it's IlonkaSims here, and I am back with another speed build. So, if you're subscribed to the channel, I know it's been a little while, but I've been busy with university stuff, and I've been sick as well, so it's just taking me a while. I've done a build that has been on Facebook, but I wasn't in the video for it because I couldn't record because I was sick, and the building was just a mess, and it would have been like a several part video, and it would have been really messy. And I figured, you know what, let's not do that. But there's another build here, and the interior was fairly similar to what I did in that build because I'm not the best when it comes to coming up with things to do in The Sims and build. But yeah, here's another build, so it's okay, sort of, I hope. But yeah, this is a family home, so using the Parenthood stuff pack, game pack, which I think it was a game pack actually. Using the Parenthood game pack, I've built this home. Right at the end of this build, you'll see that I might use some of the fitness stuff pack stuff as well, which came out like while I was doing this, but I'm not sure. So we'll see. But yeah, someone on Facebook saw the other build and they were like, hey, could you do a build with like similar furnishing? But like, she showed me a picture of a house and was like, yeah, sure, because it's a really cute house. I'm like, if I have time for it, then I'll do it. And I, let's say procrastination is a real thing. So as a distraction from some school stuff every once in a while, I just did some building, which I think is good. Um, because I really wanted to put up a build, and I felt bad about not having put up a build in a bit. But yeah, this is a fairly traditional home compared to what I usually build. If you follow the channel, you'll know that a lot of the buildings I make are quite modern, generally. I try to mix it up, but modern is definitely my style, I guess. And something more traditional fits the stuff pack the game pack that we're using, and the outside of the home looked kind of traditional as well, so I kind of wanted to stick with that. So yeah, we're just doing the outside again. I had a picture from the front of the house, so I kind of tried to stick with that, and then the rest I just tried to fill in like what I would think it would be. A very interesting garden here, which I think is actually not that strange compared to what people would usually have, but it's not the kind of garden that I would usually build in The Sims, if that makes sense. So it was a bit different for me, but it was a fine garden, I think. It's fairly empty at the front if you look at it. There's no trees or anything on the lot, I think. No, there's one at the back, one from the movie Hangout stuff pack with all the lights, because I like that one because it has all the lights. It's very cute. But yeah, the rest of the build is fairly simple. Just putting in a mailbox there, and then putting in some flooring indoors, just so that it's not simple, basic concrete. And then trying to figure out the layout, and layouts, I still struggle with layouts. I managed to make it work in the end, as I usually do, but initially I wanted to block off the kitchen from the dining room, but it wasn't working too well. So I changed that a bit. So that's kind of open, but not quite. Then we have a living room and kind of a kids' playroom as well. I considered having like two living rooms, like a media room, I guess, and a more standard living room. But we're building here for the kids stuff, for the Parenthood stuff pack, and I figured a kids' playroom is probably a better idea. So we have 3 bedrooms up here. No, 4 bedrooms up there. A master's, and then 3 kids' bedrooms, which 2 of which I've put 2 beds into, kind of. Well, you'll see it when I get there. But it's it's not a huge house, but you can definitely put a lot of Sims in here. I guess it's the best way to put it. So just figuring out where to put the windows, which can sometimes be a bit tricky, but I think it works out in the end. Just messing around with some other ideas here. I like the idea of making the deck bigger, but it just I was doing things and I looked at it. I'm like, nope, I'm making this much too complicated. I'm making this much too funky. We just need to keep it simple. Stop it. So you'll see me messing around with it for now. And I look at it, I step back and look at it. I'm like, this looks very weird. Let's just, nope. Let's not do this. Let's keep it like it was and just make it a nice backyard. Something, that fits this more traditional home instead of trying to make it almost modern. And then we start with the kitchen because I usually start with the kitchen. So in this other build that you lot haven't seen unless you have liked my page on Facebook, I use these corner cabinets instead of a corner counter, I guess. And it looks so much better. I don't know why, I just like the look of it. So I wanted to stick with that for this build as well. It will cut into some counter space, but I think that's okay. And I accidentally put some of these chairs like in the middle of the two quid wide thing, and it looked like a bench, and it looks so cool. And I wish we had like benches for Sims to sit on instead of just chairs at the dining table, if that makes sense, because that would be so cool. But I figured that wouldn't work, and I don't want to break the game, so I figured let's just keep them as simple chairs instead of going with a fake bench, because then it will probably not be playable, and I'm guessing most of you actually do want to play, so no weird things there. Just putting in some decorations, and from this I don't know, wall carpet thingy from the City Living pack, there was some blues and some pinks in there, so I kind of stuck with those for colors, which is why we have some pink flowers on there. And I don't know, just putting a lot of decorations in the kitchen, because I think decorations really help when you have a kitchen. And one of the lemonade trays, because they're fun. Messing around with some different ideas for chairs, because in the other build I also used these basic base game chairs, but I really like them in combination with this table that we got with the pack. So I just stuck with it. In the end, I don't like using the same thing time and time again, but it just worked too well not to, basically. Putting in some of these like wooden wall things in a weird pattern, because they are pretty cool. I like that. It needed something on the walls there. I tried not to use too many white walls, because the windows and the doors are all white, so I didn't necessarily like that idea. So you get the white on the white, and I'm not a fan. And you'll see here that I'm struggling for a bit with what to do here in the main living room, because I wanted to put in a fireplace, because it's a really nice fireplace, and I think a fireplace fits in a more traditional home. But at the same time, I also want a TV, and I don't want to put a TV above the fireplace because it's kind of blah. I tried to do this cabinets thing around the TV, and I wanted to see if I could make that work with the fireplace in there as well, and it just wouldn't work. I tried out some different things off camera, and it wasn't working. But we'll end up adding something like that in the other room off to the side here, which will be the kids' playroom. So this is the main living room. It doesn't have a TV. I think I even forgot to put in a stereo. So it's a very simple living room. You might want to add in a stereo if you want to play with this, just so that your Sims have a reason to sit there other than sitting there, I guess. But yeah, messing around with some different bookshelves, because in this more traditional living room, I figured we'd need a bookshelf. And a carpet, which I got distracted and started looking for carpets. I don't know. I can't even remember what I ended up putting in, because finding a carpet that fit in the space was actually kind of tricky. I almost put in the same one that we'd already used, which I didn't want to do. I have no idea what I put in. Oh, did I put in this one? I think so. Just strange, because this is a base game carpet, and I think I've used it like once in like a really fancy modern, not not modern, really fancy like castle build. I think that I did it in. I don't know, but I haven't used them much. But yeah, just putting some decorations in. I wanted to use the orange in the pillows, and I kind of went overboard for a bit, but I think I dialed it down, so it's okay. I think it worked out fine at least. I'm just trying to find some things that we can put in here. We have a second door to the front deck for some reason. I don't know, that's just the way it was on the picture that I was looking at. And it looked kind of nice on the outside. I don't know why you want it there, but it's there in case you want it, I suppose. I'm just putting some curtains around that bay window, the seat in front of it. I wish the Sims could sit in the bay window and that we could put some pillows in there, but it just doesn't work, so unfortunately we'll have to make do with what it is right now. And then just finishing off this entrance area with a coat thingy. I think I put up a mirror as well, which is a thing I do quite often, but that's about it. And then here we have the kids' playroom, where I put in the cabinet thing with the TV because I thought that would be fun. But I also wanted to put in lots of these bookshelves that look like they also have toys in them. So I'm just messing around with some things here, and you'll see in a bit I'll stick with something. And yeah, I think it looks pretty nice in the end. Messing around with some different wallpapers as well, because if it's a kids' room, I figure we want, something really funky here. And I really like these this wallpaper with all the dots. If you use it in the white color, it kind of looks like a night sky, which is one of my favorite things to do with it. But yeah, just messing around with some ideas, and I ended up adding some of these cabinets, which worked really well in terms of colors. It's not the biggest kids' playroom. Like, it's a decent size. The other house I built that's only on Facebook had a much bigger kids' playroom, but the entire house was quite big, so there was a lot more space for it as well. But yeah, I'm just messing around with some ideas here, putting in some toys, putting in some decorations. It's a basic kids' playroom, I think. I guess the adults, if they want to watch TV, they'll also just have to go sit there, which should be fine, I guess, but it's a bit weird, maybe. But it's just the way it worked out in this world. I don't have my Sims watch TV all that much anyways, unless they're like eating if I'm playing. But yeah, just putting in some decorations, trying to finish off the build, or at least this room, not the entire build. If only the build was already finished after this room, it would be quite nice. I seem to be taking a lot longer building these days, so it gets on my nerves slightly. But yeah, just messing around with some ideas here, just finishing off this little area where we go to the backyard before we do the bathroom. And yeah, there's not too much to it. I wanted to add the activity thing that came with the Parenthood stuff pack. I have no idea what it's called because I haven't actually played that pack yet, which I probably should do at some point, but I don't know if I will. Which is kind of a weird thing to say, but I don't tend to play The Sims a lot, other than building. So there you go. I haven't actually played with toddlers yet, which I told my cousin who also plays, and she was like, "You haven't played with toddlers yet? What's wrong with you?" But yeah, I prefer building, so I'm not sure what the activity thing is called, but I saw the Sims live stream, and it looked like a useful thing to have if you have a lot of kids, which is kind of the idea with this build. So I figured I should put it in. And then just finishing off this little front porch thing. Words. The front porch, there were some seats on there, I think, in the pictures she was sent me as well, and I felt like it was the kind of place that would have some seats in there, so just some seats, some decorations to finish it off, because we had a bit of an empty space in there. And a light. I think, is all I put in. Other than that, yep, alright, that's good. And then I figured, you know what, since we're doing the front deck, might as well also do the back deck. Using these couches from... Which pack is it again? Is it just called the Backyard Stuff Pack? Possibly? Maybe. I think so. But yeah, there's some pretty cute decorations and seats and stuff in that, so I figured that would be good to use in this build. Putting some of these plants in there as well, which again kind of felt like it fit the traditional vibe that we were going with so far. And I figured we should do the same kind of thing with the garden here that we had in the front, so just basically copying over the same style, same plants, nothing too special to it. Putting in some rocks to finish it off. And yeah, just putting in some monkey bars, because if we have kids, I figured some kind of outdoor play thingy would be best. And I tend to stick with monkey bars because everything else is huge. Like, I'd love to have some more kids play stuff for outside, but I don't know. It needs to be a decent size, because if we look at the play thingy, like, you have either the pirate ship or the spaceship, I think. Those two are the only options. They are ridiculously big. If we look at the water slide, they are really big. So there's only so much we have that we can use for kids. And it's not a very big backyard, so just monkey bars will have to do. And I found this pine needle decking from the outdoor retreat pack, I think it's called. And then, oh, white. I wanted to use that instead of like dirt for the yard, but I couldn't find it like recently, so I kind of thought that maybe I'd imagined it existing in game, even though it doesn't. It does actually exist, but yeah, it's okay. I think I found it again in time for this build, so just fix that real quick. And then just finishing off this little area over here, putting in a barbecue and a outdoor dining table, I guess, and putting some decorations around, because I feel decorations always really help in this kind of situation. Putting some random things on the table, and then finishing off the garden with some more landscaping, because I think landscaping tends to be very important in the yard. I notice people have like very little landscaping in their backyards, and I don't know why, because it seems so sad to me to not have proper landscaping. Plants are a good thing for your mental health, I think. I think that's like the thing. I don't know, but yeah, I like landscaping in the backyard. So just finishing it off, putting in some more flowers. I stuck with the same flowers throughout, just because, I guess. I don't know. That's the thing I tend to do. And then we start off here with a teen girl's bedroom, I think. It could be a kid, but I think it's more geared towards a teen girl. It's open to interpretation, I guess, but that's just what I was thinking of when I was building this. Again, very similar to the build that I have up on Facebook. At least the screenshots are up on Facebook, and the build is up on the gallery as well. If you wanna see it, then I suggest going either to my Facebook page or just to my gallery page. It's IlonkaSims there as well as it is here. So yeah, it's a very similar interior to that build, to the point where it's almost just copied. Not quite, but close. But yeah, you can see here I started pulling out some of the I pulled out the couch from the fitness pack. Words? Yes, I can do words, I promise. Hopefully. But yeah, I didn't end up using it in here, I think. But yeah, I feel like this is a teen girl's room. That's what I want to say. It's a teen girl's room. If you don't agree, well, okay, but I think it is. Just putting in another curtain and something there on the wall. Um, some posters fit a teen girl's bedroom, I think. And then a chair there, very bright colors, and some lights that I changed the color off camera. Um, like one is pink and one is like slightly more yellowy tone, I think. I don't know, but I think that's the colors I went with. And then using this new light because I do really like the new light that came with the pack. As well as the tiles, kind of tiles that we have here on the wall. I think they also look pretty damn good. So yeah, she has her own ensuite bathroom, such fancy. But yeah, just messing around with some ideas. I think she ends up having a really modern bathroom, even though I kind of decided downstairs that I wanted to keep it not too modern, like so that it would fit the rest of the house. But oops, well, I think the rest of the house has a slightly more traditional feel to it. I just kind of forgot, I suppose, during that little bit of the build. And then here we do the master bedroom. I love this purple wall that we have at the back there. And it's not a huge bedroom, but it's big enough. It has a bed in there, and it has a fake, like, dresser thingy in there. You don't need a real one, it's fine. But yeah, I really like it. I'm trying to remember what I put on the wall there. I think it's just a simple painting, that one. But yeah, you can see here I put in some cabinets for fake dresser, which is one of my favorite things to do if there's space for it and if it's the right kind of build for it. And I figured, again, it's slightly more modern than what I was going for, but it just looked so nice that I figured, it's fine. I think even if you live in a traditional home, you might want some things that are a bit more luxurious and a bit more of this time. So I really wanted to use this triangle top, which I like. That's one that came with the base game, and I've hardly ever used it. And they are so fancy, and I feel like we should use them more, but I just don't. But yeah, I guess this bathroom is still also fairly modern. I guess some of the bathrooms have been updated, but the last one I don't think has been. So we'll see. So we start off here with some a bedroom for two kids. I'm saying it's going to be for two boys. That's what I see it as, but I don't know if that's what you want to see it as well or something else. I don't know. Use your imagination, I guess. Yeah, just try to fit it in. Again, it's the same as I did in the other build, but this room again is a bit smaller. So I was kind of thinking, okay, they need a desk to do their homework on, I guess. A dresser for clothes. They need some toys. They need some everything, really. And I think it works out okay in the end. It needs a lot more wall paint, I guess, because right now it's very white and it didn't work too well. But I think as soon as we get some different wallpapers in, we see a real bedroom. And as I said earlier, I love the fake sky wallpaper, so it's in here as well. Using this guitar wall decal thingy, which is really cool. As well as some shelves and putting a toy box under there, because they needed a toy box. They've got a drawing thingy and a big plushie as well. And using these new carpets, which was great. I don't know why, but I really like them. I think I end up using one of them, not both of them. I think the other one is just some circular carpets. Yeah, there we go. Nothing too special about it, but I needed some more red in there, I think. Putting in some decorations to finish off the room. We have the two backpacks. We have some things on the desk, because let's face it, having nothing on the desk would be very strange. And then just putting some toys and stuff around. Oh, and the night lights, because I think these night lights are adorable. As well as some curtains, because curtains are important. I initially put them in red, but I figured, you know what? No, let's keep it a bit more simple. It's already a fairly dark room, and there's already, you know, a lot of blue and red in there. Let's tone it down a teeny tiny bit, and just go with a more simple color for the fake curtains. I don't know how they would work as curtains, so I'm going to say they're fake curtains. There's also like a slight space theme to the room. Not quite, but like slightly. It's funny to me. It's definitely there's not one particular theme to it, but there is definitely a slight space theme to it, in my opinion, which is fun. And you know, naturally, that we needed the space light thingy with all the planets, which is kind of fun. So this last room is a nursery slash toddler room. Again, I just wanted to put in both because I could. And I had my absolute favorite nursery in the other build, so I figured I'm just gonna stick with the same idea because it was amazing. I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to just do the same thing here. So it's very much kind of a nature, forest, jungle theme, I guess. So you'll see we have lots of animals in here. We have this fake tree in there. We use this fluffy carpet as fake grass. You know, the butterfly decal thingy in there helps as well, I think. And you'll see I put in these, I don't know, tweet thingies as well. Messing around with some different ideas for the wallpaper, but I stuck with the blue, the simple blue. I do quite like that blue color. We use two chairs put together as like a fake thingy your kid could sleep in or lie in or play in or whatever. Because like the bassinets, I think they're called, are kind of ugh, if that makes sense. I'm not a huge fan of them. The base game ones are kind of boring. The ones that came with the vampire pack, I think it is, are just too fancy for my liking. So I'm kind of stuck with always what I want to do for a nursery, but I will say that this is just, I really like it. Going with a slightly neutral color for these curtains and putting in a piggy bank slash unicorn bank. I don't know what to call it. And I didn't plan on putting in the toddler, but then when I did, I needed a toddler chair and a potty chair. So the potty chair's in their room. Yeah. The toddler chair, luckily, is just at the dining table. I could find a space for that. Although, hold up. There's a mom and dad. I'm going to assume. Let's keep this traditional, right? Twins, teen. They might miss a chair at the dining room table, but that's okay. They never all eat at the same time anyways. But yeah, here we are in the screenshots as usual. If you want to download this, there will be a link down in the description that will take you to the gallery. Let me know what you want to see me build next, and that's it. So I will talk to you next time. Bye guys!